Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be doing a little look inside my World Cup of Design alternate entry. I haven't posted many pictures. I don't think I've actually posted any pictures of this course yet on the forums or in the Punch Bowl. But I was thinking about just doing a small video, a little tour of the course so far. Just because I felt I didn't want to just post a bunch of pictures and stuff, and I felt like making a video might just be quicker and easier. And so this is just kind of a little update video as to what I've been working on and how what direction this course is going to be headed in. I've got a lot of progress done on many of the holes. A lot of the holes are not finished, and there's a lot of changes I still want to make. But yeah, I think we're just going to go hole by hole and look at each hole, and I'll talk about what my ideas were for the course. I'm going for more of a Monterey inspired course, I would say. Very Pebble Beach inspired. Going with smaller greens, a coastal setting, but also trying to bring in this pine straw. Going to be difficult, but we're working on it, and I'm thinking about bringing that pine straw in, as you can see over here, like bringing it into the course a little bit. Maybe add some more in this area over here as well. So let's fire up the camera, and we'll just go hole by hole and talk about what I've been working on. And some of these holes aren't finished yet, but I'll give some insight into what I'm thinking about doing. So the course is not fully sculpted, so as you'll see, some of the bunkers will just be how they are, but that's okay. So this is hole 1. Need to figure out this cart path. I added this kind of road right here a few days ago. Need to work that out, but the cart path is kind of going to the road. We're going to fix that eventually, but this is hole 1. Uphill opener here. You have kind of two choices off the tee. If you want to play to the right side, you're going to have to go over the bunkers, this uphill approach. Or you can try to carry this bunker on the left for a better look into the green. The greens are small here, just very inspired by Pebble Beach and small greens, and it's really going to matter what angle you have in to access some of these pins. But yeah, not a super difficult opening hole, pretty simple. A layup might be the option down to right here. Give yourself like 150 yards in, but it is like a 20 to 30 foot uphill approach shot once you get on the fairway. We'll move on to hole 2. This hole's been reworked a few times because I'm not a huge fan of this sight line. You can't really see any of the bunkers, but I think it's okay because those bunkers don't come into play. Those are more really just for by the green. And this hole, it's a 500-yard hole, par 4. But it plays a lot shorter with the downhill nature of it. The goal in this hole is to keep it as far right as possible to have the best angle in. Left is okay, but you are going to have trouble accessing those back left pins. A great little ocean view in the background. And I do really like these bunkers right here and just how they sit. And this hole can really play very differently depending on where the pin is. As you can see, you can kind of funnel one on, but most times you will have a short enough club in that you can stop it. There's probably going to be a pin right here in front, pin back here, probably a pin in the middle, and then this back left pin will definitely be the hardest with a runoff right here. So yeah, you get that nice little ocean view in the background, and you get hole 18 in the background right there as well. Added this bunker in on the right more for framing purposes and just to break up the space there. Not really in play if you can hit a good shot. So next up, we'll move on to hole 3. And this is a very interesting little hole because it's a very short par 3 pretty early on in the round. But it's not really one of those stunner par 3s, but I still really like how it sits. A little uphill shot. I like that front right bunker and that front left bunker covering anything back left. A little false front if you come up short could be pretty difficult, but not a super difficult hole. There'll probably be a pin right here, a pin over here, a pin in the back, and then back left. And I just really like the sight line off the tee here. As you can see, I've gone with a lot of auto-gen grasses, so I need to clean those up. But right now, just working on playability and hole design. And so I really like this little par 3. I think it's one of the better ones in this course. As we'll see later on, there will be a couple par 3s you really need to work on, especially in the back 9. So here's hole 4. I'm actually thinking about moving the tee up on hole 4, and you'll see why. Probably moving up to right here and just changing where the bunkers are configured or where they're placed at. I do really like how this hole moves kind of with the land here, and if you go too far left, you go into the trees. I also want it to feel like you're kind of going over the tree almost. You're taking on the tree if you want to really go for it, and this is one of those holes where you can lay up or you can go for it. Again, I'm probably going to move these bunkers up to almost right here because this is a very small green. As you can see, it is not very big, but this is also one of my favorite greens. I love the contours on this green. As you can see, the little false front and the little small little tiers back here with helping slopes, but also a little runoff on the back. So it really depends where you're coming in from. If you're coming in from this left side, you're not going to have as much of that runoff. Coming in more from the right side, hopefully when we move these bunkers away, this could be a little bit more of a difficult shot. And your play on this hole could really depend on where that pin is situated, but I've changed this green multiple times, but I really like the shape and the contours on this green. But let's put up the camera again. So yeah, that's hole 4. Still need to work on that a little bit, but I think it's coming along nicely. 5, it is in construction right now. This hole has a little bit of difficulty because there's a very similar par 3 on the back 9, hole 16, which you will see, with similar length and similar direction. And I want to keep this one. This one's about a 220-yard par 3, and I want to keep it like that because our previous par 3 was about 120 yards. So I want to create that contrast, but I really need to make this one a little more interesting. So not much to show here right now, still in progress. Next up is hole 6. It's a par 5. This one also hasn't had much work, but we're going to split these trees up here, and really this is just about getting the most distance possible out of your tee shot. Probably hugging this left side to get the best angle into this green, which is going to run away from you. Hard to the left. Haven't sculpted that yet. The further right you go, the more difficulty you are going to have holding the green, especially carrying those bunkers. This bunker right here just to catch anything that goes left into this rocky cliffside area. But yeah, still working on this par 5. A little bit of a work in progress, especially I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this bunker. It's a little bit blind right now. I might need to lower some of that down, but yeah, still working on that. This par 5 and entrance into the green. We'll see how that works out. Next up, we're moving on to hole 7, which might potentially be my favorite hole in the course. I don't have a tee box yet for it, but this is a drivable 4. The only problem with this hole potentially is the green might be too small, but it's a really fun little hole. You can lay up over here on the right. You can lay up down here, which there's really no point. You can lay up over here, but you're really going to have a difficult shot in. I'm probably going to make this green a little bit bigger because it is a little bit small. But the way this green sits, I just love the shape of this green, and you have a little false front, you have a little tier right here, a little helping slope, and then everything kind of running away from you here. I definitely still need to sculpt it, but really fun shot from the tee. It's about 300 yards, and you can try to take it over this tree to what is basically an infinity edge green with that approach shot with that green or the pin silhouette against the sky. I think that's really neat. And you know, if you hit the green here, you have a little bit of helping slope in the back. If not, you could roll off the back down here, but you're just chipping back on. So yeah, one of my favorite holes I've designed on this course so far. Next up, we're going to move on to hole 8. Hole 8 is a very unfinished hole right now. I originally had this huge barranca kind of in this area, so it kind of forced a layup off the tee. I think I'm going to change that now, but I'm not sure how I'm going to work this hole. It's going to be a dog leg left, maybe give more room out here on the right for a more difficult angle in, unless you want to go on the left side, have a better angle in. Not a super long hole, though, so that's still a work in progress there, but you do get a nice ocean view on this hole. Next up, moving on to hole 9. This is kind of the signature stunner par 3 on the water. Pretty simple, really small green again, with bunkers all over the place, and just a really neat little setting. It's kind of inspired by Pebble's 7th hole, but a little bit different, as you can see. But yeah, another small green, which is going to be a very common theme on this course. Really depends on what angle you want to attack greens. This one, not so much. This is just a short par 3. Hole 10, might want to get rid of this fence. Not sure how that's going to work. And the sculpturing here is kind of weird. I had to kind of manufacture a tee box. But this is going to be hole 10. No fairway yet because I'm still working on this hole. You can play up here on the right. The idea is that you play right. You're going to have to hit over those bunkers by the green. Or you take on these bunkers in the cliff right here to have a better angle in to this kind of weirdly shaped little green right here. Not a huge green again, pretty small, but some nice ocean views right there looking off into the distance. So yeah, I'm not sure how much this hole will change. I've redone this hole about 3 times now, so we'll see how it goes, but let's continue on to, was that hole 10? We're going to hole 11. I just built this one the other day. The one thing I like about this hole is you can see the green from the tee. Where's the tee markers? They're right here. And so it's an interesting par 5. The goal is to stay as far right and just hit. You can lay up to right here, but you're definitely not reaching the green, and you're just going to be laying up down there. I kind of want these bunkers to sit a little bit better, but that's okay. And you have kind of some room to attack. You want to stay as far right as you can. Kind of this, I don't know how natural this looks. Might be able to make that look a little bit better. But yeah, just a nice little outcropping here on the coast. A little par 5. Try to enter through this angle. And then your layup zones could be right here. It could be back here. It really just depends what angle you want in. Next up, hole 13. Or no, this hole 12. This hole needs to be completely redone, so just disregard all of this. But I brought this road in on the right. I thought it looked kind of neat coming out on the right side of the hole. And you have the pine straw in the background, but nothing there right now. As for hole 13, very similar. Got the bunkers on the left, but not really sure how I want to strategically build this hole. I kind of like the idea of this tree coming in on the right. So if you get caught over here on the right side, you're going to have to go over a tree. I'm not sure if I want to keep this bunker, though. Might seem like too much hazard there. Maybe just keep that tree. But a nasty little green. Need to sculpt that as well. So here we have 14. This one needs to be completely redone. I was trying to do kind of another stunner par 3. And it didn't really work out. So I'm probably going to scrap all of this. But I do think you get some nice views on this hole of the ocean, which is pretty cool. Next up is 15, little uphill par 5, uphill then downhill. Currently being redone. I made a first version of this hole and I didn't like it the way the green was, because the green is kind of a blind shot over here, but I want to make it a little more penal, just so that it's a little more difficult of a shot depending on what side of the fairway you hit off the tee. Really, you just want to split the trees and the bunkers right here. Or you can just lay back to right here. Want to stay as far right as possible to have that best angle in. These bunkers are here just to provide as a hazard almost, with this a lot of not elevation change, but a lot of camber on the backside of these bunkers, leading to difficulty holding the green if you're approaching from the left side. Next, we move on to 16, which is one of those par 3s that kind of hurts. Back on hole 5, we had that par 3. A very similar hole as this one's about 180, 190, but a very difficult hole, especially as you can see this back pin is really tucked in. I might want to make the screen a little bit bigger, but there is helping slope, so you want to play it to right here and let the slope just take it down here. So not as difficult as it looks, but definitely a difficult long par 3 coming down the stretch. Next, we're going to have to make a little cart path here to get you over to 17. 17 is a long par 4. You can hit wherever you want on the massive fairway here, but you want to stay as far left as possible to have the best angle into this green. There are bunkers right, but you have plenty of room to run it on left. A really cool hole with lots of ocean views on those trees on the right. This hole's, I feel pretty good about this one. Lots of room to miss and still be on the fairway. Even if you are over here, you can still run it on to the left or be pretty close to the green on this side. But still working, might change the green shape on that one. We'll see. And then hole 18, need to fix some of this cart path. Looks a little weird, but 18 right here. Want to try to carry those bunkers on the right or just lay up on the left. And then you have a decision either to go for it or lay up left or right. If you go for it, you have these bunkers to contend with and basically the entire cliff to the right. Need to work on that cliff a little bit. And yeah, little two-tiered green almost. If you come up short, you could roll down, but you get some nice ocean views on the 18th hole and probably put the clubhouse right here somewhere. But yeah, that's my some progress on my World Cup Design alternate entry. I've been pretty busy, so my progress has been a little bit slower. I know people are already coming out with courses. But yeah, it's going to be a while for me. Probably going to use up every single day until the contest ends in June. But yeah, I feel really good about this. Trying a different style than usual. And it's been a lot of fun so far. But, you know, we're changing a lot of things. We're revising and editing holes to make sure they're the best they can possibly be, and hopefully this comes out with a good course in the end. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.